Hi guys, welcome back on board of Crypto Cruise. It's me, Chris, and today we're going to talk about the Bitcoin chart and where it's heading in the immediate short term, mainly for next week or potentially for the whole month of November. I have, of course, my base case scenario. I'll show you exactly how I think potentially can play out, but there's another possibility which has a very good chance of potentially happening as well. So I'm gonna introduce you to both of my theories, which have, in my opinion, quite a good chance of happening and playing out. And of course, we're gonna talk some chart analysis on S&P 500, the traditional markets, and where potentially they're heading in the immediate short term by the end of the year. So let's get started, guys. Let's just start with this chart pattern for BTC. And since I launched my channel, I've been nothing but right. So since I launched my channel, I've told you the price of Bitcoin was around 66,000. I told you I anticipate a huge correction, start dropping prices below 60,000, then a final wash off to shake off all the weak hands and drop below 49,000, below 50,000, and that's exactly what we did. And then I said I anticipate a huge bounce back, a V-shaped recovery, consolidation phase, and the local top. But how did I know that? Because S&P 500 was already correcting. So I've said that it'll be healthy for the overall trend to have corrections along the way, because nothing goes in a straight upline, of course. And I mean, I didn't have my channel here between the period of end of July and end of October, but a lot of big YouTubers with huge following were calling for a bear market, and I've told you that's not a bear market. The structure remained bullish. I mean, I didn't have my channel, but that's how I was playing it out, and it turned out to be quite successful, and we had a huge upside momentum in the months and the weeks to come. So here I've said this is a correction, ABC regular correction, and I anticipate a V-shaped recovery. I can turn back some of my videos, guys. Everything has been documented. You clearly see it's there, and that's exactly what we did. We start hitting almost all-time highs, and I said it will be healthy for the overall trend to actually come back and support this previous resistance and turn into support, and then we have the continuation of the trend on the upside. Of course, along the way we're gonna have corrections, as I've said, but so far so good. So now I'm thinking in the process we formed a reverse head and shoulders, which is a bullish signal, and measured from the head to the bottom, the price target should be at price of above 6,200. So I'm not gonna be surprised if by the end of the year, early next year, start testing price of above 6,000, potentially go and test price of above 6,200, and then perhaps even go to this huge resistance line. But let's take it one trade at a time, and hopefully this huge resistance line stays as support, and then we're gonna have a bounce back. But even if you go further down, I don't think anything, there's no reason to worry. I think the structure remain bullish, so regardless, I mean, I'm bullish regardless. And before I say anything else, I have to tell you guys, anything I say in this video is not a financial advice. I repeat, it is not a financial advice. It's for pure entertainment purposes. And before you do anything, do your diligence and make your own research. So yes, from the drop down from 70 to prices below 50,000 to 65,000, I called the local top. I said here between the period of 23rd of August till 7th of September, I posted over 20 warning videos telling you that from 65 we're gonna drop to 52,000, and along the way every single move to 57 to 54 descending tracker pattern, we broke down to 52 as predicted, retest at 53, took out this bear trap at 57,000, start hitting prices of above, and from that moment on I have been nothing but bullish, and we hit all-time highs. Thank you very much. So from 70 to below 50,000 to 65,000 to 52,000 to all-time highs as predicted perfectly. So in the process we actually formed a triangle pattern that we actually broke out on the upside on 19th of September. We had a test here on 2nd and 3rd of October. We had retest on 10th of October. We had a huge bounce. We start hitting prices of above 66,500 as predicted, and about around 70,000 we made a bullish structure, setting up higher lows and higher highs and continuation of the trend. So what I've told you, from 70,000 I anticipate a breakdown to test these previous local tops at 66,500 and 65,000, turn them into support, we have a W bottom formation, which is a bullish signal, and start hitting price of around 73,000. And that's what we did. I said from 73,000, we're going to have a pullback to 69,000. That's what we're having. And now anticipate a huge bullish momentum, start hitting price of around 76, 77,000. That's in the charts. So this is my base case scenario from the get-go. I've told you, I anticipate to actually test this huge yearly resistance line at price of around 76, 77,000. That's what I'm anticipating. A huge bullish momentum the next few days, hit 76, 77,000, and then potentially, unfortunately, we're gonna have a huge correction. We're gonna start dropping prices on the downside. Basically, start hitting 76,000 and then potentially to 70,000. A little bounce to 72, then to 60, 68 to 70. You know what I mean? From higher lows to lower lows and lower highs, and potentially we can find a bottom somewhere end of November at prices around 60,000. I mean, of course, that sounds crazy because we're almost at its all-time highs. But if something like that plays out, and basically, I mean, it can also, we're not even gonna go there. But my personal opinion, we're gonna have a huge upside momentum, a bullish momentum in the beginning of next week. Start hitting prices of above 76,000, and when everyone turns bullish and everyone saying we're going to the moon, then we turn bearish and we start this multiple week correction. It's gonna be just a correction, and once we reach prices 60,000 and perhaps even just a tiny bit below 60 at 59,500, and everyone turns bullish and their own mother, then we turn bearish, and then at that particular moment we turn bullish again. Let's say we formed a double bottom or W formation, and we have the continuation of the trend, and we'll start hitting all-time high prices by the end of this year. The other scenario is if we don't go up or we don't go down, and we just consolidate. We consolidate for weeks. For weeks, we just consolidate between prices of 68,000 and 72,000. Consolidate between 73 and 68. Just consolidate, and by 20th November, we start having a huge upside momentum where no one expects. So I mean, what is my base case scenario from the get-go? So my base case scenario from the get-go is the first one. We're gonna have a bullish momentum, huge bullish momentum on the upside to basically confuse all the participants in the markets. And when everyone is expecting that we're going to the moon, then we're gonna have a huge correction. I think you'll be healthy for the overall trend because it's getting overheated a little bit, especially from 10th of October. We had the prices of around 58,000, and right now we're almost, from 58. If we go to 76, that's over 30%. So it's a bit overheating. The bull market is overheating. So a correction, and a significant correction, test these previous prices of around 60,000. I mean, I'm telling you guys, it's gonna shake off all the weekends. So that's what I'm anticipating. But very well, it can happen. Let's say this is 60%. On 60% is percentage-wise of happening, a chance of happening. 40%, we will find out if we're not gonna have a breakdown, if we're not gonna start hitting lower lows and lower highs, and potentially start moving on the downside, and we just remain on between these levels, as I've said, between 68 and 72,000 for a few weeks, then I anticipate a huge bullish momentum on the upside and start hitting all-time high prices. And I'm not gonna be surprised by the end of November we reach actually prices of, or early December prices of around 94,000. I'm not gonna be surprised at all. But first, I'd like to see how it's gonna play out the next few days, especially Monday, Tuesday. If I see a huge bullish momentum on the upside, then I say, okay, well, I'm anticipating a correction. But if we're just hesitant and we don't drop down, we stay between these prices, then I say, okay, I think Bitcoin is gearing up for something big. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you everybody for all the support, for all the lovely comments. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, please do it. It's for absolutely free. And if you want to subscribe to my Patreon and get my crypto guidebook for absolutely free, over 60 pages filled with very useful information about this bull cycle, with over 8 different crypto asset groups, which you can potentially be educated on. And of course, my other book, The Art of Chart Analysis, is how to spot a bullish trend, a bearish trend, over 70 pages filled with very useful information of how to trade. That can be very beneficial for you on educational purposes. And of course, once you subscribe to my Patreon, there's gonna be an exclusive content with the most undervalued, underappreciated coins, which have a really bright future, with 50, some of them 100x potential. And today I'm gonna post another video for all my Patreon. And once again, shout out to all my Patreon subscribers. I work for you guys, and today you can anticipate and expect another exclusive content, which is gonna be, in my opinion, really, really good. And yes, once again, thank you so much, and we see each other later on. Goodbye.